At 2 in the morning, Surda stands before his home. He is a blind beggar, and he is watching his world burn. Thick orange flames climb the thatch, and decades of his life are drifting into the black as smoke. The structure is replaceable, but the contents are not. Hidden inside was a pouch containing 500 rupees. Every coin was a promise. One portion for his ancestors' sacred rites, another for his grandson's dowry, and the final third for a community well. In minutes, the fire does more than take his shelter. It erases his ability to honor his past, provide for his family's present, or leave a mark on the future. When the heat finally recedes, Surda crawls into the ruins. He moves his hands through the gray, suffocating dust, sifting through the remains of his life like a man blindly feeling for fish in a shallow pond. He searches for the weight of melted silver, but his fingers find nothing but grit and charred wood. The pouch hasn't just burned, it has vanished entirely. He stops searching and collapses into the soot. The realization is total. He isn't just sitting in the remains of straw and mud, he is sitting in the cold ashes of his own ambition. This leaves us with a difficult question. When a person loses every pillar of their identity, their home, their savings, and their future, how does the mind begin to build a path forward? The tragedy was not an accident. The fire was set by Bayron, a neighbor who felt slighted and chose arson as his weapon of choice. Bayron's plan was efficient. He stole the pouch from the thatch before lighting the match, successfully bankrupting Surda while enriching himself in a single night. When a bystander named Jagdar discovers the theft, his reaction is telling. He doesn't feel pity for the beggar or anger at the thief. He feels a sharp, poisonous envy that he wasn't the one who got the money. Surda is now surrounded by a world that views his loss as either a victory or a missed opportunity. He is a victim in a social ecosystem fueled by malice and greed. Jagdar attempts to bait Surda, hinting that he knows Bayron has the money. He expects Surda to demand justice, to fight for his life's work. But here, the beggar's paradox takes hold. In this community, the only thing more shameful than being a beggar is being a beggar with a secret hoard of cash. Admitting he had 500 rupees would cost his social standing. Surda makes a grim choice. He denied the money existed, choosing to stay a beggar with honor intact rather than a wealthy man with a ruined reputation. This single lie completes his isolation entirely. He must now carry the weight of his stolen future in absolute silence, unable to seek help or even admit what he has lost. Surda returns to the dirt. He sits alone, weeping over the blackened earth, finally crushed by the reality that his life's work is gone and no one is coming to help. Then, a sound from the street. His grandson, Mithwa, is crying because of a playground dispute. Another child shouts a taunt that cuts through the air. "You cry in a game." Surda goes still. He looks at the charred ground beneath him, then toward the children's voices. The child's logic, that weeping over a game is the mark of a poor player, lands with a weight that the fire could never carry. If life is the game, then the fire was just a bad hand. The burden can be released. By mourning his loss, he is behaving like a child who doesn't understand the rules. To be a player is to absorb the blow and prepare for the next round. Surda stands up. The invisible weight of his neighbor's malice and his own despair seems to roll off his shoulders as he brushes the soot from his clothes. He scoops up the ashes of his ruined house and hurls them into the sky. He isn't cleaning, he's playing. He transforms the site of his greatest tragedy into a playground. Mithwa watches him, confused. He asks his grandfather what they will do if the house is burned down again. Surda doesn't hesitate. He tells the boy, "We will rebuild." The child asks again, "What if it happens 100 times, or 100,000 times?" Surda gives the only answer a true player can. "Then we will rebuild it 100,000 times." He has found a resilience that doesn't depend on preventing destruction, but on a refusal to ever stop playing the game.